So in-person school, it was fun while it lasted. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you are returning. My name is Maya, and I might just be a psychic. I'm just saying, I predicted the exact day that school would shut down due to COVID-19. I predicted we would have a snow day this past, Monday. I predicted that hybrid school, which is what my school is currently doing, where we're at school 2 days, at home the other 3, I predicted it would end 2 weeks after fall break. And this week, my teachers have all told us what to expect when we almost definitely go remote either next week or incredibly soon. So we're all feeling good about it. Honestly, I'm really grateful I was able to do hybrid school. It was scary to some extent, really stressful to go in every day, but at the same time, I've been able to interact with people like my friends. I've been able to have probably better learning experiences than I would on my own, although I like to think that I'm more productive when I'm at home. I've been able to use the school library. There have definitely been pros, but I really think that we should probably be going remote soon. Just because, the COVID cases in my area are on the rise. I was considering not putting in a graph so that people wouldn't be able to figure out exactly where I live. But at the same time, the whole world is going to shit, so, this graph's pretty indicative of everywhere right now, except for maybe New Zealand. Not sure about that, I just have a feeling. Anyway, I thought we could just kind of talk about what I am doing to prepare for entirely remote school, what it's gonna look like, and kind of some pros and cons of hybrid school. Really, 2020, the school year in review. It'll be a movie one day, I'm telling you. This is a booktube channel, so I thought the first thing we would do is go over all the books that I just checked out from the library in case I'm stuck at home for the next 6 months, which is not unlikely. So we only have 2 weeks to read books at my school, and none of these, maybe one of them, but hardly any of these are 2-week reads for me. They're pretty chunky. But my logic is if we're not going back to school, in-person school, I'll get the books for a little longer, you gotta play within the game. So the first book I checked out is The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is the first novel in the Wheel of Time series, which is an epic fantasy that was finished by Brandon Sanderson after Jordan's passing. This is one of Murphy Napier's favorite books and series of all time. She talks about it a lot. I really want to be able to watch the spoiler-filled reviews. She does a lot of those, and I think she's gonna do more now, and it's so exciting. But anyway, yeah, I want to know what all the hype is about. My dad read the first one. He said it had a lot of potential, so I'm looking forward to it. There's a little wizard on the sticker. Not sure if you can see, but it's a real cute wizard, if I do say so myself. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, and this book was recommended by Mr. Ryan from Social Studies. Thank you, Mr. Ryan from Social Studies, and looking forward to it. Next, I've got a book. I remember distinctly when this came out because we have this store called Second and Charles where I live, and it's this secondhand shop for books, but also for movies and video games, and they do a lot of Pokemon, and also it's just pretty much everything geeky in one store. It's awesome. I got stuck there once during a tornado drill. Anyway, I remember this because I was at Second and Charles, and they were having a big sale of this book that is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I know that the main character in this book has OCD, and I'm actually about 20 pages in. Not far, obviously, it's pretty big, but I'm definitely seeing that already. John Green himself does have OCD, and I think it's really interesting and important to read books by people who experience these things, people who have characters experiencing these things, because then their stories are typically more authentic and true to an individual. This really rich guy goes missing, and there's a huge reward for his return, his recapture, $100,000. Imagine how many books you could buy with $100,000. So the main character, Asia, and her friend decide that they are going to be the ones to solve this mystery and reap the rewards. But as the mystery tightens, so does Asia's downward spiral in terms of her mental health. So I think this will be a really good book, maybe kind of October-ish, just because it's a mystery, and I do enjoy John Green's work generally. So yeah, I'm excited for this. There are parts I don't like.
Actually, a lot of the conclusions this season come from the John Green school of adolescent thought.
I loved you. You didn't even know me. You miss your idea of me.
I think you have this ideal of what a girl should be, and you pushed me away when I turned out to be something different.
I fall in love with girls too fast and too hard.
Which feels like a bit of a cop-out.
But other than that, Gotta love them. And the YouTube channel, so much fun. Next, I believe Alice recommended this to me. Alice, I could be wrong, but someone recommended this to me, so thank you. That is Aristotle and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe. And this was recommended to me after I put out my LGBTQ plus book recommendations video. So I just checked this out like maybe 20 minutes ago, but I was reading it at the crosswalk, just waiting to be able to cross the street, you know? And I got like a page in, and it looks really promising. The writing style is cool. I think it's supposed to be a combination of prose and maybe like letters. I'm seeing some letters in here. Could be an email depending on when it takes place. It's about a relationship between two boys. I think it starts out as a friendship. They're kind of like polar opposites, but I think it turns into a romance. I'm not positive. I mean, I'm really excited. Like, the cover is super cool. It has a ton of awards, and also my school put plastic on the cover, and that's always a good sign because it means they want to protect it extra. They didn't put any plastic on Wheel of Time, so I'm sorry, Robert Jordan. They just didn't do it. Next, I checked out The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. It's been all over Libby because it is a book that's kind of about social justice, but also it's just a book by one of the most gifted novelists of our time, or so says NPR. I believe it's about a reform school and kind of just the damage that reform schools wreak on the world and on the United States. I think this one focuses on Black and African Americans, although I know that reform schools are also a huge problem among Indigenous peoples. And I definitely want to read more about that sometime, so if you have any book recommendations, please let me know. I have, oh gosh, what's it called? The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I have that on hold, but if you have any books by Indigenous authors or that tell about Indigenous stories, please let me know. I really want to read more of them. And last but not least, okay, I picked this one because of the spine. Not even the cover, but the spine. The spine was facing out on the shelf. Tell me that's not a beautiful spine. We've got like an ombre, orange to pink situation going on here. We have some florals. It's just all around a really promising spine. This book is A Free Life by Ha Jin. I don't know much about this book outside from the fact that it follows the father in an Asian American family in the 90s. And they have like a really promising start. Like, the dad is going to school and it has like a guaranteed teaching position in China, but then something falls through and their lives and the trajectory of their lives are kind of put in jeopardy. It does follow the dad and the family, and it talks about his struggles with relationships and assimilation and just cultural pride, but it also talks about how he maintains his sanity and his joy through poetry, which I just think is such a lovely message. So the last time this was checked out was 2011, so I'm happy to give it a go. Yeah, so these are all of the books that I checked out today, and maybe I think I got 2 of them yesterday from my school's library. So I'm really excited to read these, especially if I have extra time due to remote school. Alrighty, from that, let's talk about like what remote school is gonna look like and how hybrid's been going so far. So if you're new to my channel, I'm a junior in high school and I go to a public school in suburban Colorado. And I'm really fortunate. I go to a really great school, a lot of diversity, a lot of class options, and just a lot of resources for me to succeed. So it's been interesting to see how even in my position of extreme privilege, how my district and my school has struggled with COVID-19, because I know that I have it really good, and it's kind of hard to believe that because I know that there's been so much struggle within my own district. I can't imagine what it would be like in a school system with less resources. Essentially what's been happening is every Monday we log in and we're on the computer from 10 to 2 at home with our teachers. We have 20 minutes per class, totally useless in my opinion, but really that time is meant to ask questions, just to check in, go over stuff. Then on Tuesday and Wednesday I have in-person school because I am in cohort A, which is last names A through K, and the other cohort is L through Z, and they're at school in person on Thursdays and Fridays. While the L through Z cohort is at school, my cohort is at home, and we're meant to do asynchronous work all through Thursday, Friday, and then through the weekend, because that's inevitably how high school works. I haven't had a weekend since like 5th grade, man. And I feel quite fortunate because this has actually worked really well for me. Apart from the fact that I think Mondays Mondays are a complete waste of time. I've enjoyed going to classes twice a week, and the rest of the time I'm able to structure on my own, which is great, not only for my education, but for my creative pursuits. I've been able to develop a pretty solid YouTube schedule. I've been narrating audiobooks for Learning Ally for some volunteering. I've been writing a lot, submitting to publications and stuff, reading, obviously. I've just had a lot of time to do my own thing in addition to doing all my schoolwork. But as COVID is rising, the likelihood of hybrid school continuing is plummeting. And rightfully so. Safety is important. But again, there's just a lot of factors to consider when thinking about remote school, because it seems self-explanatory to me that we would go remote, but I also have a really safe house to be in. I have internet to work on. I have pretty much every resource I could ever need or want to succeed in school, and that's just not the case for a lot of kids, not only in America, but around the world. My teachers have been hinting a lot that we will be going hybrid next week. Will that happen? I don't know. We'll find out. But essentially, we will have synchronous school like we do on Mondays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. But what's different is this time we would only have 4 classes a day. My school is on an A-B schedule, so essentially on A days I have 4 classes, on B days I have my other 4 classes, and then those days alternate. And that sounds okay, but then you remember the factors I just talked about. A lot of kids don't have access to internet, and if they do, it's not sustainable. For example, a lot of my friends have quite a few siblings, and if they're all doing school at the same time synchronously, their internet's gonna go out. Free and reduced meals are also important to think about. I hope that my school district will set up a station or something where kids can pick up free breakfasts and lunches, but that'll be a lot more difficult when we're remote. And lastly, I know that a lot of people don't work well or learn well at home, and that's totally okay. We all learn differently. So this one-size-fits-all model of remote school should be interesting to watch unfold, because I don't think it's gonna work very well. That said, I know everyone's doing their best. I know that all the teachers and the staff and the superintendents and everyone, they're trying, and I appreciate it. I think that the main villain here, if there is a villain at all, is just the American public school system. We need some innovation. We need some revamps. We need to really focus on expanding our ways of teaching and our approaches to education. And that's one good thing I think might come out of COVID, is just the realization that it's time for change, and that change is good, and that it's okay to change, you know? Oh, and one last thing I want to say about hybrid school. We're actually sleeping. Isn't that great? Teenagers are sleeping. It's like incredible. But yeah, those are my thoughts on hybrid and remote school and the books that I have brought home in case I need entertainment during that time. They're about to fall. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you're doing really well. My next video will be a book review. Haven't done one of those in a while. Until then, stay safe, stay well. If you're in school, good luck to you. I wish you all the best. And please let me know about your experiences in the comments. I'm actually planning on making a documentary about school in 2020 and what it's like to come of age in a pandemic, because my 17th birthday sure as hell doesn't look like any of the YA books I've been reading. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.